Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to this wonderful channel where we dey bring you back-to-back update as the hot. If this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, please go ahead and hit the subscription button. Subscribing to our channel is the only way you can support us on the good work that we have been doing on this channel for you. Meanwhile, I greet you all of us of freedom all over the world. Mono n'ezi mono na masị na oji nwata wee nye aka enu na mgbe aka lobele n'oye. Of course, we know that freedom must come and the people of God ụmụ Chineke must go free one day. Yes, 440 years the children of Israel spent in the land of Israel. But on the day of the Lord sent Moses and he delivered them from the hand of Pharaoh and they were able to get to their promised land. And of course, you know that Chukwuokike have promised ụmụ Chineke that one day freedom must be theirs, even though that Ohama is in the DSS detention and every other thing that is happening. We know that surely freedom must come. Meanwhile, I carry you to the business where we say na him carry us come today as the hot. Of course, you know that today is 29th of May and Tinubu has been sworn in as the 16th president of Nigeria. Let's go down to the news proper as the hot. Bola Tinubu has been sworn in as the president of Nigeria. He succeeds Muhammadu Buhari, who leaves office today, Monday, May 29th. The Chief Justice of the Federation, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, administered the oath of office to the president at 10:38 a.m. The event was attended by several heads of state and other dignitaries. My people now don't see as the hot. Meanwhile, the inauguration has taken place, and but the issue now is that we are yet to understand what is actually going on, or maybe what will be the next. What is the court going to conclude? What is going to be their next decision? But on here, Peter Obi says something. Peter Obi won't attend Tinubu's inauguration or plan protest, but angry obedience may act on their own aid. Peter Obi, the candidate of Labour Party in 2023 presidential election, has said he and his team are not planning to stage a protest against the inauguration of Bola Tinubu as the incoming president of Nigeria. Obi's aide, Tai Obasi, denied reports that there were plans to protest against Tinubu's inauguration, according to Punch. Obasi, however, added that his principal will not attend the inauguration even though an invitation was sent to him. Obi's remark comes amid rumors that the former Anambra governor and Obedience, his supporters, will protest near Eagle Square over the government's plan to go ahead with Tinubu's inauguration despite petition at the Election Petition Tribunal. Obasi was quoted by Punch saying, "I don't know where that report is coming from. We don't know anything about it or who are behind the proposed protest, but I can categorically tell you that any principal is not aware of anything. He is Obi and his followers are obedient. I agree that on some occasions they may act on their own, no matter how you tell them to keep calm. These guys are angry. They are not happy about how everything was manipulated against Obi, who has given them so much hope. They followed him and waited for him all the way. My principal is a very humble and reasonable man who is always looking for peace and unity of the country at all costs." Obi's aide said when asked if his principal will attend Tinubu's inauguration following reports that political parties and their presidential candidate were sent individual invitations. But it will be strange for him to attend a ceremony honoring a leader whose election triumph he is contesting in court. He continued, "My principal cannot act that weird and unreasonable. I can't confirm if he receives an invitation to the swearing-in ceremony, but I am telling you that you can't see him there." Tinubu, of the All Progressive Congress was declared the winner of the 2023 presidential election by the Independent National Election Commission in March. Due to this, Obi approached the court to seek the nullification of Tinubu's victory, alleging that the election that produced him was marred with a lot of irregularities. When asked to provide evidence he had to prove that the election was fraudulent, Obi said he will prove to Nigerians in court that the election was rigged. My people, I don't see as they happen. People were saying that Peter Obi and the obedience was supposed to carry out a protest today in order to, let's show off their anger and their bitterness, of what has been happened in Nigeria or what has befall Nigeria. Of course, you know that immediately after the election, after Peter Obi was declared winner of the 2023 presidential election, that the obedience declined and said that they will not accept the outcome of that election because they believe that there were many irregularities in the election, and according to them, the election was rigged. Of course, you know that there are a lot of people who supported Peter Obi during that election. Almost all over Nigeria, he had people everywhere. Even the Hausas we are campaigning for him. The Yorubas, we are campaigning something to the south, southeast, southwest, and everywhere people were campaigning for him. And it was believed then that Obi was going to become the president of Nigeria. Though some people countered it and said that Peter Obi was only a social media president because he had more people on the social media than on the ground, that there was no structure for his party to be able to prevail to that higher echelon of becoming the president of Nigeria. But meanwhile, if you were there at the election, you will agree with me that during the election, the obedience set up structure for themselves, even without no one, helping them. People came together, started arranging themselves, the way they voted and everything. There was peace among them. And even some people brought food for each other. They were eating. People bought drinks, and the rest of them, the obedience were drinking. And most of the party we visited, especially here in the southeast, we find out that the obedience were on the higher side of the numbers. But what transpired after the election is what people do not know. Maybe we've not seen such a miracle that end up dethroning someone who has the higher number. But as it stands now, Peter Obi said that he is not going to go for any process, that he will wait for the rule of law. Of course, any wise man will take that particular decision. Of course, his aide said that maybe the obedience might do this on their own, even though that Peter Obi have encouraged them not to do something like that. Let them wait to see what the law is going to say, because that's the perfect way to do things. Because they are obedient, I believe that they are going to obey Peter Obi. But the thing is that, according to Peter Obi's aide, that the people are angry, especially the youths, because they have all rested their hope on Peter Obi, believing that the election was going to favor him, and that will be the end of the tragedy, anguish, and the pains that Nigerians have passed through for the past 8 years and in the other administration. Because Peter Obi came up with visions and many things that he wanted to do for Nigerians. He talked about the educational sector. He talked about the medical. He talked about various sector, the oil sector, the business sector, and the rest of them. And he promised Nigerians that immediately he assumed office, he even exposed how oil, we are being exported from Nigeria to other countries by some government official. Of course, if you look at the fact of what Peter Obi was saying, you find that nobody can export oil from this nation in all those big vessels, without these big officials knowing about it. And Peter Obi touched, all these matters. He promised the nation that immediately he becomes the president of Nigeria, that he will know what to do on all these sectors though it's not going to be easy, but he believed that he was going to do something. But you have seen the turnout of the events, that today being 29th of May, that the Jagaban of Lagos, Tinubu Asiwaju Bola Ahmed, has been sworn in as the president of Nigeria.